Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'd like to welcome you back to Doomlink's live hunts, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to play with a full group anytime soon. I have a distinct feeling that the first hunt is not going to be that way. I came online here, there were 16 people playing. Actually, you know what, I don't mind doing this two-man. This is one of those quests where it's better to do it with two people, so that way it feels like an actual substantial hunt, as opposed to an aggressive and almost wanton beatdown. But anyway, yes, you're right, P-Berry, I have not been streaming recently, and I will get to why that's been the case. During the week prior to this one, it was because I was busy. The reason why I haven't been streaming this week is because on the weekend I found myself I became considerably sunburnt, so I didn't want to turn up on the live stream looking like a tomato or a beetroot or whatever vegetable you might want to liken me to. Let me get the Twitch app organized so that I can read the chat in a more convenient way. But anyway, so the situation was, when I came online, was that there were 16 people, but there was only one room that I could join. Literally one room. This wasn't a case of me literally... what's that? Hold on, let me get this chat organized. There we go. It wasn't a case of me avoiding certain rooms on the basis of who was hosting them. It was a case of literally me being unable to join all of the other rooms. There may have been, I don't know, 5 other rooms. But this is the only one that I could join because it's just had the host and no one else in it. So, I may just go with something simple. Just an ice longsword, I think. Unless I have a more interesting... I do have a more interesting ice longsword than what I was about to equip. Couldn't even finish my sentence. And then I realized that I have Tribulation, which is the Rust Duramboros longsword. Something that maybe I do pull out every now and again from my weapons cache. Whereas, in the case of other people, they almost never pull it out. My overall meaning being that it is an uncommon weapon. And it's an interesting choice. Again, awakened weapons just give you that opportunity to try something a little different. I don't like the awakened system, guess what? Irrelevant. Now, I'm just going to make sure that my inventory is ready to go, and then I'm essentially ready to depart. Two-man on this hunt. Is this not the fastest hunt that we've... or rather, is this not the shortest length of time between the beginning of a recording and the departure on a hunt that you've seen in a long time? Certainly been the quickest I've seen in a long time. It's refreshing. Partially because only 2 people had to organize themselves for this hunt, as opposed to 4. Of course, because it is 3 Ultimate, I am perfectly comfortable departing on a quest despite the fact that we only have 2 people, because it is entirely expected and typical of this community to have people join mid-hunt. Whereas in certain other games, that does not happen at all. Tifa, on the other hand, I must say, someone just joined the room named Tifa, someone that I've played with before. But you see, this person would be a perfect example of just a different generation of hunter. This is a person who joined the room, realized that we were on a quest, and then immediately left the room. The reality is that there are not many options. So, if that person could display some modicum of patience, that would be for both our benefit and their benefit, I think. But that's not how some people want to play it these days. Again, I say that the expectation that I at least place on the community is that there will be a willingness and a desire to actually sit there and wait for people who have departed on the quest to return, but there are exceptions to that. Specifically, people who are probably used to a rather different experience when playing online in Monster Hunter, and they bring their very low, substandard style of play, in terms of online play, into this community, which I don't like. Just that desperation to find the greener fields, where in most cases there are none, but they do it anyway because they couldn't possibly deign to sit in one place and wait. That's totally unacceptable. As you can see, the person wouldn't have to wait for very long. Even with a two-man team, this Kurapeko is, or not just this particular one, but all three of them that will be spawning are going to get decimated by this two-man group. Hello, Kodoku. Welcome to the live stream. But yes, we're back in action again. I no longer look quite so red. And to be honest, I would imagine that even if I had appeared on camera, let's say on the Monday or the Tuesday of this week, it probably wouldn't have shown up on the camera too aggressively. That is to say, the redness of my face. Because, you know, I tend to mess around with white balancing to give myself a little bit more orange. The reason being that otherwise I'll look pink. And I don't particularly want to look pink, if you can imagine that. So, yeah, the situation probably would have been that I would have looked redder than usual, but not just unreasonably and unpleasantly red. But I didn't want to take the risk, so I just didn't record. But here I am now. Hopefully there will be no interruptions, or rather, perhaps interruption isn't the word. Hopefully there will be no, I'm not sure, distractions, we'll say, from my daily, well, maybe not even daily recording. I wouldn't say that I always record every day. But I try to record more than one video per week, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Some of you will note that I use the term video, which is a bit old-fashioned these days, but I don't mind. Obviously I'm referring to a live stream. If it's live, you can work that much out on your own. Oh dear. The funny thing is, I did make the decision to use a longsword without having double-checked the weapon of choice of Conrad. And it just so happened that we were using the same weapon type, which works rather well together. It means that we're both playing in much the same way, and neither of us have to worry about flinching the other. Because we are united in our flurrying, aggressive weapon maneuvers. And there goes Kurapeko number 2. I don't know if we can expect Tifa to return. I'd rather not have that person return. Because typically if you see a certain style of play that's in any way repellent or confusing at the outset, it's probably not going to be great to hunt with them either. That's what I've found. It may sound a little bit paranoid or an example of reading too much into it, but I genuinely find that if someone starts off doing something weird in online play, it's quite often an indication that the hunt that one would embark upon with that person is likely to be either strange, annoying, or downright fucking stupid. So, that's my experience. Never mind. I thought I heard the sound of my mouse button clicking itself. There may be a ghost in the room, but no, my mouse is actually here in front of me, not over there, so I don't know what was just clicking like the sound of a mouse button. You're detonating, I can assume. I keep positioning myself away from the face, despite the fact that the face is my intended target. But yeah, the almost unpleasantly acute dissimilitude between myself as a traditional hunter and the people who these days populate the Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate server. It's a stark comparison because these are people who need their instant gratification, and outside of that, they're also just generally dumb. So I can say this comfortably because I have played with many different communities in Monster Hunter, and while it has been on a downward trend for much longer than 5th gen has existed, it's not good these days. It's really not good at all. Oh. Don't really know if I'm happy with being over here. Why am I getting a call now? I will, the person from whom I'm receiving a call is someone that I would like to call back very soon. So what I'll do is I'll finish off this hunt, and quite ironically it would be the one hunt of 3, if we're going to call the individual confrontations hunts, which is slightly confusing, where we have to chase the bastard, which pisses me off. Hello, Beta. But yes, I will make a call, and I'll be back soon. The good thing, I mean, to be honest, I'll just let the quest run, and then, yeah, that's probably the best time for me to disappear while I make this call. I'll be back in a moment. Ugh, I'm back, and I do thank you for your patience. Maybe seeing me move around and do things in the game helped you, sir. Hold out hope that I would one day return. But yes, I am back. Okay, I feel like I'm missing something. Also, my D-pad is sticky. Must have been because I spilt fucking beer all over it one day, but let's not get into that. So. Recollecting of events. Seriously, I'm not happy with this fucking D-pad right now. I'm definitely missing something. Because I have less in my inventory than I usually do. So what is it? Well, I don't think it's anything essential, so let's just go with this. I'm happy to depart with this loadout. Alright, let's get the chat happening again. Yes, bring that. Yes, bring it up. No. Anyway, no Doom today. Yes, I don't exist. It's not me playing the game, it's someone else. I wouldn't go live if I were just going to, play the game and neither speak nor appear on camera. That would be pretty lousy, as they say. I need to reopen Twitch because it has to be said that it does not actually function, contrary to what the rating on the Google Play Store might suggest. Again, what does it have? Like 4.7 out of 5? It's disgusting. It makes me sick that people would rate it that. Do you realize that every time I have a live stream open and then I need to minimize the app, when I return to the app, I cannot pause the playback. It cannot be paused. My only recourse at that stage is to entirely close the app and reopen it. Is that the sort of behavior that you would expect from an app that's rated 4.7 out of 5 on the Google Play Store? And I wouldn't say so. And I would also hasten to add that that is not the only issue that I've come across with the app. That's not like some bizarre situation that is unrepresentative of the overall experience with the Twitch app on Android devices. I'm telling you that the app is shit, okay? So I don't know who has been rating it positively, but they need to perhaps carefully reconsider what a good application is supposed to do. From my personal experience, the Twitch app is not a good app. That's just the situation. Okay, something happened. What happened? Defense boost large. Okay, that's great. This is an atypical hunt at this stage. We are almost starting out with Zenoga in Area 6, as opposed to Area 5, which is refreshing, something a little different for this quest that I have undertaken many times before. Obviously, those who need Stygian Zenoga, not Stygian Zenoga, if you could check what you're saying before you say it, Doomlink, that'd be great. For those who want Zenoga Sky Emeralds, there you go. This is the quest to do, Cloudless Thunder. It is an advanced quest that includes 2 Zenogas in the same hunt. And so therefore I have done a number of times before. I could possibly be aiming a little more consistently for the tail, but I think I'm being a little lazy and couldn't quite be bothered. Yeah, the buttons on my controller are really sticky, and I'm really pissed off about that. I'm really pissed off about that because... oh my god, yeah, like my Y button in particular is really sticky. And what's so frustrating about that is that I've been using this controller since Tri came out, okay? And I've had no issues with it, and then one day I fucking spill beer all over this fucking controller. And because of that, it's now awful. And that's really quite disappointing. I do have... you know what I could do, to be honest? I could just get another controller on its own. I do technically have the Monster Hunter Tri for Wii. I don't know what you'd really call it, the bonus pack that includes the Wii Pro Controller. So I do technically have a fresh Wii Pro Controller to be used at any time, but I would like that particular... I don't really want to call it a box set or anything like that. That's silly. It's not like a video or DVD box set. It's a fucking video game. But it is in a nice box, and to be honest, I'd like it to remain complete in that form, so I don't want to take the controller out and use it. So I think I would prefer to go and get the controller on its own. Nat is asking me what my favorite lance in the game is, except the Bracky ones. Well, there was no need to accept the Bracky ones because, yeah, the the Brachydios weapons are not weapons that I use very often at all, as those of you who watch me frequently can attest to. Sweet Death has joined. Hello, Sweet Death. Hand me the black eyeliner, please. Anyway, favorite lance in the game. In terms of visual appearance, definitely the Abyssal Lagiocrus lance. That lance is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the stats are very good as well, which helps. It's not just one of those, for example, event weapons, like event-specific weapons that looks really good, but functions pretty poorly. It's a very good weapon, both in terms of its stats and its appearance. So that would definitely be one of the weapons that I would consider to be the best. I totally lost sight of what the Zinogre was doing in that moment, so I quite appropriately took a hit, because that is no less than what I deserve. But the other lances that I enjoy, let me think. I really like the Shark Lance. What are you doing? You just got here, man. I think the Zinogre realized that actually he likes to sleep in this area, not this area, so it does beg the question as to why he limped out in the first place. Or at least in that direction. It's a little bizarre. But the Shark Lance from Try, which also exists in this game, is quite funny. I enjoy it. I don't know how I didn't get hit there. I think because he actually only travelled to where he did travel while jumping there on account of some sort of network instability, so the game didn't consider that to be a legitimate movement of the monster, and therefore it passed through me but didn't hit me, which is extraordinary. What the fuck are you who is hosting the... What the fuck? He actually just limped out of the area while facing away from the exit. I don't know who the fuck is hosting this monster, but that person... Oh, that would be perfect timing. It is actually perfect timing because I'm no longer in combat. The batteries on my Wii controller have died. I'll be back in about 60 seconds with replaced batteries. See you in a sec. Just had to make sure that my green screen was still fine. Because I bumped it. I've decided that I'm going to change the batteries on camera, because why not? Don't want to leave you guys hanging for too long. Oh no, the streamer's gone! I need to consider my other entertainment options! Click away now! That's exactly what a lot of you... Well, not really my audience. I don't mean my audience. I know you guys aren't like that, but the general Twitch audience? Oh my god. That's I essentially just encapsulated their mental condition. That is literally the Twitch community in a nutshell. My entertainment! It must be constant. Eat my ass. Alright. Let's get moving. It's rather strange. I feel like this is one of those quests where we just avoid Area 5, which is good because you can see that the frame rate dips here quite unpleasantly. Not a fan. I apparently can't actually observe where the other hunters are in the quest. I just assumed that the Zenoga would be in that direction, but that ended up not being the case at all, which is fine. I don't know what this person's name even is. Hajime Osam. I don't know what Osam is. Maybe the person wanted to say Osama, but couldn't fucking fit it in the name selection. I mean, you can tell that he can't, because he wouldn't be able to fit another letter, another character in his name without it going off the name section. But, you know, perhaps he wanted to call himself the first Osama, you know, before Bin Laden. This is a different guy, maybe the father of Bin Laden, I don't know. I may have made a number of assumptions about his name here, but I don't know, it's a weird name. So I do start to make wild assumptions about what the intention behind the naming was. Doesn't matter. Oh god. I don't want to get caught in any of the flurrying attacks of the Zenoga. He is enraged, and he becomes a little disgruntled when he is enraged. Possibly because when one is enraged, it means that they are upset and angry. So therefore, disgruntled sentiments should be expected. The point being that I made a very redundant observation. I was referring to the enraged state of the monster to simply refer to the state of being of the monster in a gameplay sense, but then I realized that the word enraged already covered the disgruntled aspect of my description of the monster, but anyway, that's in the past now. Let's move on to bigger and better things. One thing I should inform you of is that I'm hungry. Hello. Ethan? Hello. Okay. Well, it's nice of you to refer to me as hallowed, but I'm not quite at that status yet. Getting there. But yes, hello Ethan. Welcome to the live stream. Did I finish reporting that I was hungry? Well, I'm hungry, so... I chose to record this before eating, because I didn't want to wait any longer. I wanted to ensure that I had people to play with here in this game when I came online, which I do, fortunately. But, yeah, the longer I leave it in my time zone, the less people I'm going to have to play with, so I thought that I'd get the 2 hours done, and then go and fill my stomach with nourishment. Sounds like a plan, as long as I don't sit here complaining about being hungry during the whole 2 hours, which I will endeavour to do. Or endeavour to avoid doing, I should say. Well, I can settle for a level 2. Ended up hitting the claw instead of the face, but fine. I don't often use the Paladire these days. I think there's an alternative to the Paladire in Awakened form that I've been using recently. I think it's the Devastator Blade, isn't it? So instead of using the Devastator Blade, I'm now going back to the standard, which is the Paladire. Come on. Good weapon. Excuse me. Good break with the weapon. There you go. Had a few thoughts in my head there. The main thought being that very aggressive and mindless style of play that Conrad just unleashed upon the monster was quite rewarding for him. I'm going to drop a trap and just capture. Should be able to do that without much difficulty. This is a bad place to put the trap in the event that it does miss, but it won't miss. It will not miss. Good night. Oh my god. My plus button is so sticky. It's almost shocking, like it feels like it sinks down further than it normally would. I've completely fucked up my controller. It's really disappointing. This is the original one that I've always used. Just to mention that again. I don't know how easy they are to get online. I'm gonna have a good look, but I think it is time for me to get a new one. Sad as it may be to admit. I don't know how happy I am continuing to use this Wiimote and changing the batteries of it all the time. Because I did go and get a rechargeable battery pack for my Xbox 360 controller. So, should I do the same for my Wii remote? I don't know. I will continue using the Classic Controller Pro though, with this particular game. I do have alternatives, such as the Wii U Pro controller. That one I could use, but it's not going to feel comfortable. The reason why is that it's much nicer to have the right analog stick underneath the action buttons, but that's not the case with the Wii U Pro controller. The analog stick is above them, and so I have to start doing weird things. I don't like it, and it requires a movement of the hands, or the fingers more specifically, that is foreign to me, and I don't want to take the time to get comfortable with that. Not interested, thank you. But I'll tell you what, I would much prefer using the Wii U Pro controller to using the gamepad to play. I've spoken to people who've used the gamepad to play this game, and I just say, what's it like to play the game in the most uncomfortable way possible? And they look at me like I'm from Mars. They're like, what do you mean? It feels fine. Meanwhile, my jaw hits the floor and I start to question humanity as a whole. It's the most unergonomic, bulky, unpleasant way to play Monster Hunter. And I've played on the 3DS, okay? That's not to suggest that the 3DS is bulky, necessarily, but it is unergonomic and fucking uncomfortable, which of course has a whole legion of people championing the, oh, fuck off. Anyway, championing the fucking benefits and the beauty, the perfection of 3DS. I fucking hate that console. It's shit. Particularly for Monster Hunter. The 3DS is just an abysmal piece of technology. I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. But, again, everyone... Typically people who started on the 3DS with Monster Hunter seem to get, you know, moist between the legs for the system. Fucking snap it over their heads, quite frankly. Keep your awkward predilections to yourself. But the situation with the Wii U gamepad, despite, I think, possibly two interactions that I've had, two interactions that I somewhat regret, with people who have used the Wii U gamepad to play the game, despite what they say, which is that it's quite fine, it's quite not fine. It's quite horrendous, so don't use that. My point being that I would sooner use the Wii U Pro controller, just to get ourselves back on track, than use the gamepad to play the game. Do not offend 3DS, says Nat. Okay, I'll do my best, Nat. I wouldn't want to offend an inanimate object. That would be less than advisable. What is yours, GC? How much? This level of conversation is difficult for me to meet, to be honest. This is my guild card, if this is what you wanted to see. Yeah. Guild card. Etc. Etc. What were we hunting again? It was something that I was only partially interested in hunting. Partially. Fuck, what was it? Let me think of what weapon I was intending to equip. Maybe that would jog my memory. No, I don't remember that either. One day I'll get out of this habit. Oh, this... yeah. I was wrong, actually. I have very, very little desire to depart on this hunt. Sweet death. Sweet death. Fucking dickhead. Posting 4-point formation. Why would you do that? I don't want to explain this again for those of you who are unaware, but maybe some of you would think that I'm being a little aggressive by calling him a fucking dickhead for posting the quest. Basically, this is the quest that people depart on to grind HRP. And there is a specific strategy associated with departing on this quest with the intention of increasing one's HRP. And it is not any strategy that is going to be employed by this team. What that means is that this quest is going to go on for too long, and I've done this quest a few times before, as one can imagine, and it's bad. It's just a boring quest. I don't want to do it, but this guy's posted it, and it's a G-turns room, so we must comply. Or I must, anyway. How many slime weapons do we have? We've got... Okay, I seem to be one of... I'm the only one. Good. That's how I prefer it. I'm glad. Ethan tells me that he has a new Switch. Ethan, no. What are you talking about? Why didn't you get a Wii U? I'm deadly serious. Why do you have a new Switch? What was wrong with the old one? Get a Wii U, man. I can guarantee you that you're going to get more use out of that than a new Switch. I mean, how often do you play on your Switch? You've got some explaining to do. What's going on? Anyway. Four-point formation. I can't believe I'm departing on this quest with sweet death. Daddy's dropped. Oh, he is dropped. Oh, maybe I actually... I think the Nagakuga has seen us. Oh, we got a flash bomb. Look at him. He's actually going for some form of strategy. What's he doing? He's actually going for some form of strategy here. This is quite funny. Oh my god. It entertains me, to be honest. Is he actually shooting normal shots from that distance? No, he's shooting pierce shots on it. No, that is actually pierce that he's shooting on a Barrioth. It's very cute, but ineffectual, I think you'll find. This is going to be a joke of a hunt. Throwing flash bombs like it's the Freedom Unite community at this stage. I don't know. I brought this lance because I thought it'd deal a lot of damage, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy myself while using it. I suppose, to be honest, I wasn't going to enjoy myself in this quest in any event, but yeah, perhaps increasing the displeasure was a bad idea. Hajime can go and fucking solo that thing. I don't care at this stage. Let's break these arms if we can. The wings, arms, doesn't matter what you want to say. Oh. Okay. Well, yes, I suppose you will play with me on Generations Ultimate, but that's alright. If it's to play with your niece, or... Oh, you promised your niece a Switch, I understand. So you gave her your old one and then got a new one, okay. I hope that you've transferred all the saves over properly. Well, you've probably done that. No, that's fine. I'd just rather play this game with you than Generations Ultimate, that's all. And I'm sure you would as well, to be honest. It's alright. I'm just bitterly disappointed. No, I'm alright. I'll get over it in a few weeks. But always have to juggle one's priorities. At least I'm assuming the Switch is no longer ridiculously overpriced. Remember during the the lockdown, there were some ridiculous asking prices going around for the Switch. I'm assuming that is now stabilized, one would hope. Hope you enjoyed that round, Sweet Death. That was probably like, I don't know, 2 minutes longer than it needed to be. Why on earth you're using a Pierce loadout for this quest, I've got no idea. There is a reason why normal shots are the ideal shot type for this quest. You do know why, don't you? Sweet Death. I know you do. It's because Pierce isn't automatically good. The use of Pierce is not some sort of win button. The Pierce shots need to pierce through the monster. That's how that works. And you see they don't do that very well with Nagakuga and Barioth. Just a little tidbit for you. Normal shots, however, are localized damage which you can focus on weak points. But that would require some form of skill. Now, if... Okay, good. Let's keep... My concern, to be honest, is that Sweet Death may accidentally hit the Nagakuga with his shots, but as long as he's paying attention, that's fine. I mean, one would hope that he's paying attention, seeing as though he's the one trying to employ some form of strategy here. And I guess also, fortunately, the Nagakuga did walk away instead of choosing to hang around by the Barioth for the whole time. I seem to be doing a good job of shielding my teammate. We've got 2 shock traps down, both of which are like, this is a bit of a shit show. We've got one over here. It's like a triangle. One there, one all the way over there, and then at the point of the triangle we've got, well, what I visualize to be the top of the triangle is our friend the Nagakuga, which means that I don't think we're going to bother with the traps. Unless if I see someone else committing to one of the traps, I will join them, but the Sweet Death, I think, is generally confused, just on a general level. Maybe not. It may not have anything to do with this particular quest, or even this particular game. I think he's generally confused. That's my assessment of that guy. Hello, Cyber_S. How are you today? How do I read your name? Cybers? Do you engage in erotic conversation with people online? Oh, sorry, that was a bit random. We've all heard of cybering, haven't we? Yeah. I don't know if people use that term anymore. GG says, Hajime Osama bin Laden. Conrad says, good job in French. And Sweet Death says, good job in Spanish. It's very multicultural. It's really quite a joy. Sweet Death is now wasting flash bombs. I can only hope that that's an easy flash bomb, as they say. I say EZ just to piss people off. This is the thing, Ethan. The community is actually bigger than you might think. There are not many people playing at any given time, but there are a lot of individual people playing the game. It's strange. I actually do not know many of them. I haven't played with any of these people before. I'd say on average there is at least one person in any room that I join that I recognize. At least one person. You'd think it'd be even more, wouldn't you? But yeah, seriously, the number of people playing this game is much more than you may think. I just wish they could all coordinate themselves to play at the same time. Hunter rank 529. I'm HRP farming, everyone. Road to 999 in 2022. Fuck off. Go grind your HRP somewhere else. Make a room for it. Alright. Oh, apparently I can also call you Ander, which I won't, because I won't remember to call you Ander, because it's not written anywhere in your name. Okay. Well, it's apparently your monster name, which again, I'm not going to remember. Oh, looks like we're doing Savage Devil Joe. That was actually mentioned. Conrad said next Savage Devil while we were in the hunt. It's Devil Joe, not Devil. I've never actually seen someone shorten Devil Joe's name to Devil. I've never seen that. It's always Joe because that feels like a name that you can latch onto. Devil is very generic. It's not a natural shortening, but that guy chose to do that, so good for him. Oh, apparently we have hunted together. Okay. I think I will bring a hunting horn for this quest, and the reason why is because I have actually forced you people to watch me hunt this monster many times in the past, so I want to keep things interesting. I think I will bring the Tarbral Demolisher. I would like to have the Abyssal Lagu Cruise hunting horn, but I don't. And I don't want to bring the High Voltage Verve, although maybe that is a good idea. That does have a lot of thunder damage, doesn't it? And this is one of those quests where it's a good idea, so I will bring this after all. I've made my decision. Osama bin Laden has gone and redeemed a voucher. Good for him. And obviously I'm partially grateful, unless I have... No, I haven't eaten yet. Don't particularly want... Oh, what I do particularly want is Exchanger. I may have actually eaten for Exchanger for that 4-point formation hunt. No, actually, that was the one that preceded 4-point formation. What quest was that? That was Cloudless Thunder. I swear to you I'm missing something. What is missing from my inventory? I don't know. I must be going crazy. One of my songs. That looks rather Christmassy, the Attack Up Large song, doesn't it? It's the red and green. It's not Christmas yet. It's not even Halloween yet, although some people like to treat the whole fucking month of October as Halloween. Some people are just desperate, aren't they? That's what it comes off as. That's how it comes across, as just that desperation to celebrate something. That they're going to start celebrating it literally almost a month beforehand, because, you know, if you're celebrating Halloween in the early part of October, I mean, if Halloween's at the end of the month, it means you're almost celebrating it a month early. Oh, one-handing that. Let people enjoy things? No. What's the point of having it on the 31st of October if everyone's just going to fucking celebrate it for every week of October leading up to the 31st? Just have it be a month celebration, for goodness sake. Why are there two? Okay, never mind. I thought that was 2 paralysis meat. As you could tell, I nearly got upset. Seems that we've got all colours of meat. Oh, sorry, God. I'm. If you're wondering why I just did that, it's because I have recently been using Hunting Horn in Freedom Unite, which leads one to just press the R button and expect things to happen. That is definitely not what happened there in that very moment. Let me detonate, please, if you wouldn't mind. Don't fucking shoot anything. Let the bombs wake him up. Thank you. Alright, let's remember how to use the Hunting Horn in the new way, the new style. The one that I actually don't prefer quite as much, or excuse me, the one that I do not enjoy quite as much and certainly do not prefer. I'll go away. Now I can move properly. Now I need to remember how to play the attack song. It starts with red, I think. It does start with red, but that's not how I play the red part. Alright. It's actually rather similar to the note combinations for certain horns in Freedom Unite. Alright, let's hurry up. We've actually got a good... Why are you following me, man? I'm playing my fucking hunting horn, and you're following me. It's not helpful. I'm trying to boost the attack of the team. That's where most of my usefulness lies. Alright, we're just going to keep with attack up large. Outside of that, I'm going to do regular attacks here. Well, I was about to play... I was about to say ESP instead of Mind's Eye. Whoops. No, 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 no. Well, I don't mind you hitting me out of that, but... I suppose it wouldn't have been a bad thing to play that song again. It would have been totally unnecessary and wouldn't have assisted me in any way, but... I actually would not have preferred to be hit out of that than play it, so... I'm not going to thank you or anything, Devil Joe. Paralysis? Yes. Let's get in position. I don't know if I want to be aiming for the head. Actually, I do want to be aiming for the head because it's dangerous over there. There's teammates over there. I think this is going to be a good run because we've got 2 people running Abyssal Lagiacrus stuff, and we've got... I mean, I'm not going to make a particular comment on Osama bin Laden's weapon. I think he's got poison there, may or may not be helpful. But at the end of the day, I'm boosting the damage of 2 Abyssal Lagiacrus weapons against a monster that is considerably weak to thunder. So I think that we will do fairly well. That's what I'm expecting. Will I be sorely disappointed if we do end up taking a long time to kill him? Yes. Yeah, that was bad rolling timing. That's a part of the breath that is harder to actually roll through. Because, you see, it doesn't travel in quite the way you'd expect. It sort of sweeps into you, in a way. Anyway. I feel that people are more restrained with Christmas, to be honest, Ethan. I think people do have a hesitation to celebrate Christmas as soon as it hits December. But I do, like, I saw people just yesterday going to Halloween parties. Like, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? Fucker. Anyway. In the words of Ethan, let people enjoy themselves. But I don't know if that's within my nature. You can see that if I had positioned myself just slightly differently, or if Devil Joe had positioned himself just slightly differently, I would have taken a hit there. Which would have been unfortunate. Alright, let's top up the attack song. This is the note that I want to play, and get away from me, please. Now, allow me to play my music uninterrupted, if you wouldn't mind. No, fuck off. When I said uninterrupted... Oh, well, we can do that, of course. That, I will not deny, is probably the best hunting horn moment I've ever had. I will happily concede that. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a hunting horn whiz and I constantly do those sorts of things. I don't remember the last time I managed to do that. While playing a song, breaking the face of a Devil Joe who's trying to attack me out of playing the song, and then moving myself to the side to avoid the follow-up bite attack. It's almost as if I'm very good at using the hunting horn. You're quite right in that I've never been to America. You couldn't be more correct, Ethan. Popo meat. Is that a capture attempt? No, that's just a... Well, I don't think we've had him in a shock trap yet, so... First exhaustion shock trap, if I could fucking speak. Not too bad at all. I do need to top up. Oh, look at that. What a good run. That was very good. You don't hear this from me often. But nicely done. Once I can type correctly. Nicely done indeed. Wouldn't have minded a group like this. Back when I actually needed Savage Devil Joe stuff. Instead, I was two-manning with James or whatever the fuck. No, not James. I was two-manning with Link, and he was going combo greatsword. Because he couldn't play the video game. Which was well established. Lord Zor's turn. Yeah, alright. I'll post something. I don't want to jump to Osama bin Laden, which means that Sweet Death is closer, and we know precisely what Sweet Death will post. In fact, I will leave the room when Sweet Death posts his second 4-point formation, because I'm not doing it again. I'm not interested. I'm starting to wonder what the guy's hunter rank is. I do actually need to sell... I forgot, actually, to sell some... possibly green Nagakuga materials that I had in excess. People are getting excited about Christmas right now in America. Mustn't be much to get excited about, huh? At that point, that does smack of desperation. Okay, I don't know if it was Green Nagakuga or regular Nagakuga or what was going on, but I do have 4 monsters that it could possibly be that I had excess materials of, so let's figure it out. Where is my Nagakuga stuff is the first question. Here we fucking go. Where is it? I'm looking for grey, then green. If I can find grey, then green, then that's obviously what I want, but... Here we go. It was green Nagakuga. And I think that was probably it, to be honest. I would say so. It's my turn. I will go and post something. Relax, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm trying to stall us from reaching 4-point formation. Lawless Ludroth. I don't know why Rusted Aramboros is in this quest list. It feels strange. Rusted Aramboros has a decent amount of health. Like a lot of health. I may post a regular hunt from here. See what's around, huh? That's arena crap. Here we go. This sort of thing is nice. Might do this quest. Nagakuga, Rathian, Zenoga. This is how you conduct online play. While you go and change your loadout, you give the other people in the group the opportunity to do the same. Instead of changing your loadout, then posting the quest, and then everyone has to toddle on over to the fucking prep area. And at that stage, change their loadouts. That sort of thing is just ridiculous. I'm going to bring the end of night. If Sweet Death were to use the end of night, that would be truly appropriate. Truly appropriate. Don't change appearance. Give it a rest. Alright. End of night. Yeah. Hold on, says those. I think I'm gonna hold on, man. Like at this stage. Everyone's getting ready for the quest, so yeah, I'm gonna hold on, don't worry. Alright. Let's go for Specialist. I think Specialist increases... Yes, it increases my abnormal status. Which will mean that this rather woeful 190 shall become 210. Which is not too bad at all. It's still bad, but at least it's not under 200. These vile fangs can go away. Why would I want something described as vile in my inventory? That is the question. That's what I want to know. Oh dear. Damn it. Talk about stepping on my toes. I'm not going to have any idea just how I'm contributing to the hunt. Because this guy is running heavy paralysis. Heavy paralysis. Which means that my paralysis effectiveness is just going to be utterly swallowed up. So, fine. I'll live with that. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it, but I'll live with it. What's our first hunt?
Just check the quest info, Doomlink. Oh wait, you're playing 3 Ultimate. The game that for some reason hides that information.
It's Nagakuga. I thought that I'd say that verbally, just for those of you who didn't know what a Nagakuga was. Sweet Death really is an unpleasant individual. Posting 4-point formation and using the Kelby deer shot. This guy's got the fucking how to be a 2017 3 Ultimate player starter pack. What else would that include? So we've got 4-point formation, Kelby deer shot. What else would be typical of that era of 3 Ultimate play? Huh. Nothing else jumps out at me. Oh, for goodness sake. I do enjoy being flinched like this. I will find an opportunity to do Wyvern Fire at some point. I'm not going to apologise to Osama. Not at this stage. I know his name is Osam, but I don't know what the fuck else it would mean. I'm pretty sure he just ran out of space for his name. So he's Osama. I'm calling him what he wants to be called. Oh, can I shield that in time? Well, that was a mid-tail swing tail cut, which almost looked ridiculous. It was a mixture of looking ridiculous and very cool. Strangely enough. I'm assuming that we've managed to get a paralysis. I am assuming. Maybe I just didn't notice at all, but yeah. I'm going to assume that there was a paralysis that I didn't notice, because there's no way that we failed to get a paralysis in that moment. There is no way. Well, during that hunt, I mean. During that confrontation. I hesitate to use the word hunt to refer to individual confrontations within a quest. I feel like hunt should be synonymous with quest, not with confrontation. But it doesn't really matter how I feel about it, I need to be consistent with my use of the word hunt. If I start going back and forth between quest and confrontation when using that word, it is going to get confusing. So I will try to just use hunt as a way to refer to quest. Just a more intimate way of referring to a quest, you know. But it could also very comfortably be a synonym for confrontation within the Monster Hunter context. Can I detonate these bombs? No, I'm not going to do it. I was thinking of doing it with a Wyvern Fire, but my concern is that they're just going to be detonated anyway, see? Yeah. Oh, that's really good, actually. We managed to get the knockdown of the Rathian from the bombs, and then we can hopefully make use of the trap after that. Again, I use the word hopefully. This will be the #1 challenge. You are such an idiot. You just did 2 completely contradictory things right there. Sweet Death walks up to the trap, aligns with the trap to get the monster in it, and then proceeds to immediately throw a flash bomb. Those two things are literally opposite strategies. Remember when I said that he was generally confused? That is essentially what I mean. What I was trying to say was that it will be... You are a special kind of human, aren't you? What hole did you crawl out of? Anyway. Again, the sentence that I was trying to speak in full was that the biggest challenge for this team will be lining up with that trap, but I guess it wasn't necessary in the end because Sweet Death is just throwing flash bombs and spamming the most overpowered, I guess, damage application form in the game, which is repeated spread slime through the Kelby Disher. That'll be so good. Look at him running ahead. Doesn't need his mega potions. The hunt is in his hands. Sweet Death. Sweet Death. Fucking supposed to be that, you know. With two hands. Anyway. Did I place both bombs for that Rathian? I typically don't do that. I suppose I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, what I will usually do is save one bomb, like if it's a multi-confrontation, I'll just have one bomb for the first trap, and then for the next monster spawning, I'll use the other bomb. Because I generally do not bring combination materials for bombs. I already carry too much stuff in my inventory, so I don't fill it with that sort of stuff. I think I must be blind. I have not been noticing paralyses at all. They must be happening. But for some reason I'm not registering them in my mind when they take place. There we go, there's one. See, I must just not be paying attention to them at all. It's very strange, isn't it? I'll fuck off with the claws. Bastard things. Should do a wyvern fire. I don't think I've done one yet. It's going to miss, you watch. Oh no, I did get it on target, which was nice. A pleasant surprise. I had every expectation that it would fail. Can't believe you're throwing flash bombs. Oh. Looks like someone had a bit of a network fart there. At least it didn't result in a disconnection. Oh, I do like the look of this gun lance when you have shot it. That is to say, when it is cooling down after a wyvern fire. Looks very cool. Sweet Death once again congratulates the team in Spanish. Suppose we could try and kill the Arzuros, why not? I think that we can do it. The only reason why we wouldn't be able to is because this is a full health Arzuros, and he may be able to limp out of the area before we can kill him. But I think we'll do a pretty good job of killing him in the time that we have left. Unless I get flinched, of course. Sorry if I hit you, Osama. I can't believe that I haven't hit him. It really is something of a miracle. It'd be pretty good if we could get him killed. He's poisoned, he's been fucking paralyzed. I mean, he has, quite frankly, been totally fucking decimated by the team, but he remains alive. Look at him. Again, it's because he has full health. It is what it is. He lasted longer than the bloody Zenoga. Almost. Oh. Got a free hunt reward because we broke the arms of the Arzuros, I would imagine. The Armzuros, no. It's very important that I make it clear that I don't find that funny. Because otherwise someone might say, oh, Doomlink, that's not a funny joke at all. Well, I worked that much out for myself. Alright. Might get a hot drink. It's not something that... I don't have a pressing need to buy a hot drink, as you can tell, but... I bought one anyway. So presumably, Osama bin Laden will be posting next. I'm open for any... maybe not open for anything. I'm not at all open for anything, but we'll see what he posts. I may have to take an early exit from this particular room. Just to make it very clear that I am not open for anything. You know, if he posts a high rank quest, I'm not going to be doing it. To be honest, there aren't many things other than 4-point formation that will get me to just leave a room. I'm sure most of you are. Well, that's very helpful. It's not that he's AFK, no. He's standing here, watching you and waiting for the opportunity to post. In fact, he was waiting for you to point at the quest board. If you hadn't done that, he wouldn't have posted. How fucking stupid is this guy? The innate confusion is honestly showing itself. Like, literally, what I'm saying in response to Sweet Death is effectively the point that Sweet Death telling him to post is not going to speed up the process. At all. It's not going to speed up anything. It's just an expression of Sweet Death's impatience. And what it shows is that the little pointing animation that Sweet Death did was not this cute thing. It was literally an expression of impatience. Anyway. I do drink from receptacles, yes. And I'm glad, Ethan. Always happy to be entertaining in that way. Yes, thank you. I'm glad I've got you around, P-Berry, honestly. Ugh, hair. And my nose hurts. Anyway, I'm always happy to report my personal condition. Cruel King of the Sea? This is what we've been waiting for? At least we've got Sweet Death with his fucking great Kelby deer shot. Oh no, he's changing his loadout. To what? I've got no idea. But this is essentially the strong version of Ivory Lagiacruz. He's got a lot of health, hits really hard, but I think this team can handle him. Sweet Death is asking if it's the event quest. It is. Actually, yeah, what is his hunter rank? Oh, his hunter rank 719. Okay. Thought he might have been a lower hunter ranked person. So yeah, he probably is a 2017. 3 Ultimate Hunter. He smells like one. I can fucking smell it. From Australia, and he's in Spain. Just because he's speaking Spanish doesn't mean he's from Spain, Doom. Like, well, he is. Shut up. Guess what? I don't live in America, so my notion of Spanish speaking isn't Latin America and nothing else. He's from Spain. Okay, people from Spain play Monster Hunter. Ugh. Sorry. Just had to make that point. Now, the situation is that this is a difficult hunt. I suppose you've got different levels of difficulty. There's almost nothing that's going to be a challenge in this game except for the event quest monsters that will have monsters with much higher health and higher damage. So with that taken into consideration, I need to use something that's going to have survivability. And so, to be honest, I don't want to use a gunner loadout because the ranged attacks of this monster are really nasty. If I have a gunner loadout with evade extender, it's probably fine, but I don't want to take that risk today. I'm not really feeling like doing that. So I might go with dual blades, just randomly. Dragon dual blades. That would be Devil Joe? No, I don't really feel like doing that. What alternatives do I have then? I think Devil Joe are my only dragon dual blades. Except for that, but you can see that that would be quite inappropriate for this monster. Alright, Nero's Wrath it is. I would just like a little bit more dragon damage than that. We'll settle for this. I decided to do dual blades. I am actually in the mood to use dual blades, so I'm going to use these. Alright. I should have about as much defense as I can manage. I will eat for defense arm, which I think is fish and bread, isn't it? Well, you see, I don't want to have reduced health, so there may be an alternative to that. Defense large, here we go. And exchanger, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Exchanger with defense up large, that's beautiful. Okay. Should be ready to go. As I said, my expectation is that we will succeed in this hunt. I do think that the team can handle it. And whether it takes a long time or not, I do think that we'll survive. I could have brought some traps to assist, but I don't really have any. I've only got shock traps. I don't have any pitfall traps in this game, and I don't want to get into details as to why. But yeah, I don't have pitfall traps, so I wouldn't really be able to help in that respect. Bringing some shock traps might have been a nice thing to do, but I'm sure we'll be alright. I'm not completely leeching, geez. I can assure you, wholeheartedly, that I am contributing. I do like it when you can see the question mark for an extended period of time over the head of a monster. It's entertaining. I hate that little tail movement. Look at the fucking damage. Disgusting. That is actually off-putting. We've already got a trap down. I will place one bomb. I do so because Lagiacruz does have ranged attacks. I'm not going to have both of my bombs come to nothing. Sweet Death has very little interest in lining up with the trap. Maybe he'll come over to the trap and throw a flash bomb. That would be great. This is why I only dropped one bomb. And to be honest, I'm going to save the next bomb for the next... See, I don't know if you're dumb or just actively ignoring the strategy of the team. Now, I'm not going to blame him for being stuck there. I mean, he was in a dangerous situation, so the best thing for him to do in that moment was to just stay still and shield. But as far as him taking that long to line up with the trap, just look. He's one of those hunters that gets a little bit excited, gets very invested in his own little process of attacking the monster. He's now dead, which is, you know, That's his thing. He has apologized, which is the right thing to do. Now the problem is here that I could actually get hit again after that dive, because the range of that attack is large, and also that attack is persistent. You can dive... there's multiple different attacks within the one attack, that is to say. So if I dive it once, that doesn't automatically mean that I'm safe. It's one of those attacks. We already have one death, which does not bode well. We literally just started the hunt. So we're losing out on damage at the moment because he's taking his time to get back into the hunt, and then, or back into the confrontation, and well, there's nothing I can fucking do there, is there? No. Because this is Ivory Lagucruise, who in his event form is an honestly unfair monster. But, yeah, I'm actually not so confident in our ability to succeed after all. That's not good. That's the side of the monster that you don't want to be walking in, or walking towards. I'm going to assume that that was Sweet Death's Flashbomb, because he's got a bit of a thing for them. I'm stuck in a combo. I'm trying to get into that elemental weak point, although it's not going to be as good of a weak point for dual blades like these. Even though I'm using dragon damage, these dual blades would be much better used against the chest. I don't have stamina. That is my fault at the end of the day for playing like that. Draining all of my stamina and putting myself in a position where I can't even get away from the monster in the event that it chooses to attack me. This guy, when he goes to sleep at night, dreams of flash bombs. And he wakes up with wet underwear. I'm telling you. For a second I thought Osama bin Laden was walking towards the attack, which would not have been a sensible strategy. As you can see, running in that direction, you need to run towards the head when he's doing that attack. I really hate this monster. I generally do go ranged in this hunt, but I just didn't feel confident in dealing with attacks like those, for example. Because there's nothing you can do. I would get one shot. It's that fear of the one shot that repels me from using a gunner loadout. Oh, for goodness sake, man. It is not Freedom Unite. There are diminishing returns for using flash bombs, by the way. Just... it is 3rd gen. Thank you for lance charging despite literally being at point blank range to the monster. You did a good job of hitting me in that moment, which I very much appreciated. Not. I can't see what the fuck is going on. If I get hit, this is not a good situation at all. There is nothing about this that is desirable. Alright. We survived Area 1, which is technically Area 7, but I mean like the first area of confrontation with the monster. We survived that. Let's move on to Stage 2, I guess. Great. Someone is now hosting this monster that has a terrible connection. This is going to make this a real fun hunt. Oh, you're placing a trap now. Surprised you didn't throw a flash during the trap.
Oh, well, throwing flashes makes it easier, right?
I can't see shit. But yeah, that was a really unhelpful trap. He doesn't seem to understand the concept of diminishing returns. Okay, we've now got another death. One death away from failure. I somewhat overestimated the team. Conrad has also solemnly apologized. I don't hold it against people for dying at all. I mean, I could just as easily die, to be honest. If I get caught in a very awkward combo, that will be the death of me, because there isn't much room for repeated attacks from the monster, health-wise. He's got a lot of damage that he deals, and we only have so many attacks that we can survive as a result. So if I get comboed, that's going to happen. I'm going to die. But my point is that I was expecting, at any rate, a successful hunt, and I could tell from fairly early on that it was not going to be that. We can persist, I'm happy to persist, but seriously, I've seen successful hunts of this before, and this is not that. It does not have the hallmarks of a successful run at all. I have no stamina, which is bad. This is not the direction that I can. Anyway, I will sharpen up. I think, yeah, that tiny sliver of purple is nothing. But because I do start at purple, I will sharpen up every time I end up at blue sharpness with these weapons. I've never seen someone so mindlessly charging around with their lance. I mean, he could not have charged with that lance at a worse time. He actually got smacked down by the fucking monster. Figuratively speaking, he got a thunderbolt to the face, and it was one of the most satisfying things I've seen happen to this person since I began hunting with him. I bet he's frothing at the mouth at the mere thought of being able to post 4-point formation again after this train wreck of a hunt. He's got his flash bombs handy, brandishing them with gentle strokes of the tip with the tips of his fingers, and you know, his heart rate's going up, breath is hot, mum spaghetti, and just generally excited for 4-point formation. At which point I will leave the room because I'm not doing 4-point formation. You never know, maybe he won't post it again. Maybe he doesn't have confidence in the team's ability to do it as quickly as he might like. Because I could tell that he did have an expectation that there would be some form of strategy employed to speed up the hunt, but there was no such thing. I will Demon Dance, just so that I can keep it on the weak point. I'm going to get out of here because I've got no stamina. Oh, awful attack. That's a combo. See, if the follow-up attack were directed to me, or directed on me, or on my position, that would be a death. There's not much I can do about that. But fortunately, that didn't happen. Anyway. Yeah, I'm on fire. Just spitting out lines, you know. I'm just letting you do what you need to do. When he's frantically gearing up for an attack, I'm not going to run in and start swinging my weapons around. Conrad has really gone for the... he took a hit for the team, didn't he? In that moment. Although I don't know how he's going for healing wares. If he keeps doing things like that, he's going to run out very quickly. But I suppose he didn't anticipate the attack that was going out from the Lagiacruz. He was probably already placing the trap before he had assessed the situation. Which is probably fine. I'm not going to pretend like everyone needs to make a perfect assessment of the risks before taking risks, because I certainly don't do that. That was the first failed flash bomb I've seen. That's 2 in a row. I guess Sweet Death is becoming a little bit frantic himself. I think he needs to put his head in a bucket of ice and fucking relax a bit. I imagine this emo kid from Spain sitting in his chair going, you know. That's how I picture him. Sweet Death is dropping a trap as we speak. I can only assume that it is going to be a capture attempt, which I will assist in, but I don't think I'll be able to do it quickly enough. No, I wasn't able to do it quickly enough. I don't know if that was... The reason why I assumed that that was a capture attempt is because it has to be understood that at this stage... How many do you have, man? How many fucking flash bombs are there in your bloody inventory? Anyway, Sweet Death now says trap. Again, I'm assuming he's going for a capture because shock traps at this stage just don't do anything. Sweet Death says trap. Osama Bin Laden says yes. Okay, well you drop one then, man. I'm saving one for when we can get a guaranteed capture. I think it would be a little bit over-optimistic to assume... What? Okay, so Sweet Death says trap, Osama Bin Laden says yes, and then Osama Bin Laden proceeds to attack the monster without dropping a trap. So why did you say yes? Was it in agreement with the proposition? Yeah, it's not fucking capturable. This is why I didn't drop a trap. I mean, it's very good of you to have such high hopes for the damage output of a team. But that would be what I'd call an unrealistic hope. Sorry for flinching you, Osama, but you did sort of walk into my frame. Let's just wait for him to limp before dropping traps for the capture, okay? I think that would be good, because the situation right there was that we had a pitfall trap that would have been better used by the team all getting in there and attacking, but that is not what happened. There were two of us throwing trank bombs, which ultimately resulted in less damage dealt, which was a fucking mistake. Let's try again, shall we? Because there's no other reason to drop a fucking shock trap. Why on earth would you drop one at this stage, except to attempt to capture? Because they only last for 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Healing wares are running low. It could all be over at any time, don't forget. One death away from failure. I say we just keep getting in there and trying to deal the damage instead of pointlessly dropping traps. Oh god. Nasty combo? Well, it's alright. I'm just going to make sure that I'm safe before I heal, because I'm trying to use standard potions at this stage. A triple stationary a quadruple stationary animation. What exactly is going on with you? Is there a disconnect? There's a disconnect. Someone's internet has shut. What's going on? Who is having network issues? I've seen this happen before. It invariably results in a disconnect, but it seems that everyone is connected. How are we all connected to this hunt and the monster is stuck in place? That's very good of you. I don't know what we did to deserve this, Lagiacarus, but if you're just gonna throw the fucking match like this, I'll take the opportunity as it comes. I mean, Jesus. Last time I saw this, I recorded back in 2014 this exact same thing happening with a Goldbeard Cedeus. It went on for over a minute, but it did result in me disconnecting from everyone. How the fuck did no one disconnect? How did that happen? I was expecting to disconnect, to be honest. But I could see everyone was properly connected, properly moving around, continuing to attack the monster. I can't believe it. I'm starting to wonder if any of those attacks even registered. That's insane. That sort of thing only happens on account of network instability, and yet somehow no one disconnected, despite it going on for that long. What the fuck? I don't know if that's thanks to the connectivity of the hunters, or thanks to the game being able to handle some pretty messed up connections. It's a very resilient game from what I can tell, network-wise. Can you stop waddling over there? So you're not even leaving the area. Why are you waddling in that direction if you have no intention of leaving it at this stage? Is he doing it again? Oh my god, he's doing it again. I've never seen this before. Shit, I didn't mean to leave the area. I wanted to demonstrate that further. He's fucking stuck, look at him. There has to be someone here with a really messed up connection. This sweet death person is in need of death, to be honest. I mean, this point-blank range lance charging at the expense of my ability to hit the monster is quite frankly intolerable. And it can stop straight away. Because this is not the first time this has happened. This is like the second time. And it's been many more than 2 times that I've seen this guy mindlessly charging the monster. See, I'm not actually convinced that our damage is registering right now. I don't think it is. What is Osama bin Laden doing? I think he's the one who's causing this. I don't know why he wasn't in that room, but I feel like maybe that's... What is going on? In my opinion, if damage was registering during these periods, this monster would have been dead by now. I know he's got a lot of health, but what the fuck? It'd be great if this were happening, you know, somewhere else. That would be... Let me rephrase that in a slightly more articulate fashion. It would be nice if this were happening... You really are special, aren't you? You've got something going on. Do you need like a personal explanation of how to play Monster Hunter? I think you need some one-on-one training. Anyway. We're back on, I guess. Laggy just needs time to rest. Just unfortunately he's dragging on the hunt, so now I've got less stamina than before. Which is not helpful at all. Yeah, I'm just going to assume that those periods of time where Laggy Chris is stuck in place were just not allowing damage to register. There's no way that he would have survived that. Apparently, Sweet Death still has flash bombs, enough to even miss and throw another one at this late stage in the hunt. It's fucking shocking. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Maybe it's all the flash bombs. They've disoriented the monster. How many flash bombs can a person hold? He's thrown more than 10. How many can you... So... It shouldn't be more than 15, right? Because you can carry 5 flash bombs, and I don't think you can carry more than 10 flash bugs. But I suppose maybe it's... No, it shouldn't be possible that you can craft multiple flash bombs with 1 flash bug. You can do that sort of thing with ammunition, but not with flash bombs. So he shouldn't have more than 15, but I swear that he's thrown at least that many, if not more. He has thrown a lot of flash bombs. Keeping in mind, he actually misses maybe a third of what he throws, so that means he's doubling down on his flash bombing half the time. I don't know what his deal is. It is definitely an inefficient use of flash bombs. He goes through what would, for me, be a year's supply of flash bombs in like 3 hunts. Osama is now sending multiple question marks in the chat. No, look, this is just this monster having lots of health at this stage. And he's limping. So, after you guys spent all your fucking traps, I'm going to drop the one that I've been saving. Where are you going? Why are you preventing it? Just fucking let me trap it. I mean, they don't know that I've got a trap. But anyway, they can do what they want to do. I'll have a trap at the ready. I'm going to wait until he actually enters the area before dropping the trap, just in case he changes his direction. Come on. Will it die? Says Conrad. What the fuck do you think? It wasn't limping before, but it is now. Do you think it will die? Let's play the guessing game. What is Osama bin Laden doing? What are you doing? Oh my... Oh my fucking god. If you had just let it limp, we wouldn't be in this situation, would we? Fuck! It's Osama bin Laden. He's the one who's causing this issue. He's connecting from his fucking hideout in Iran. Fucking cave dial-up internet. Jesus. I'm guessing I can't get in there and drop a trap. Yeah, see? Holy shit. I've not actually departed on a quest quite this dysfunctional in all my monster hunting career. Today's the day. we can't even get to the monster. Dung bombing is not a bad idea, to be honest. I don't know if it would reset anything. I'd guarantee if we just got Osama bin Laden to disconnect right now, things would work okay. I've just got that feeling. I'm gonna tell Osama to leave the area. Oh. Okay. I've got a trap, you know. I'm happy to drop it and get shit done. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I'm gonna try and find a safe time to drop the trap. Get your bombs and fucking stick him up your ass. You little fucking bombs. He's doing a good job of bombing himself at this stage. And now we're getting a limp in that direction. I don't know what to do. Maybe just go for the kill at this stage. Come on. Get the fucking trap. Get the trap. Yep. I've got tranks because I haven't thrown 500 of them like you guys have. The hunt is over. We succeeded against all the odds. Literally against all the odds. Not only were we performing, I would say we were underperforming, probably. But on top of that, we had a Lagiacrus that was constantly stuck in place due to some sort of connectivity issue. And I don't know what it is, but I'm suspicious that it was Osama bin Laden causing the issue. I'm pretty sure that it was. I think that if we were to get... No, I don't know what's going on. What caused him to do the animation that looked like he was holding his ears because something was roaring? What caused him to do that? We're all throwing our hands in the air at the same time. So we should all be roughly connecting at comparable ping. So, like, it's not like one of us is just off the charts at some ridiculous ping level. So maybe the issue was server side. Maybe it's not actually to do with any of us. Maybe the servers are fucked. That's entirely possible. Anyway. That was a silver crown. Yeah, I have a feeling that maybe the servers were causing the problem this time. I haven't seen it happen in a very long time. Again, the last time I saw anything remotely like that was back in 2014. That's how long it's been. But that was worse than even that instance. So I don't know what the fuck was happening during that hunt, and I don't want to see it again. It's only entertaining for a little while, and then you start to want to just play the damn game. I think I've already made what I wanted to make with the Thunderclap diplomas, but it's fine. I think it was the high voltage Verve, to be honest. Very strange hunt, though. Highly unusual. I'm going to see what Sweet Death posts. If it's 4-point formation, I will take my leave and I'll see if there are any other options. What have we got? Oh no. He is not actually dedicated, or committed rather, to grinding HRP with 4-point formation, so it means that I can stay in this hunt. If it means that I'm going to have to experience that stupid lagging out glitch with the monster, I'm probably not so impressed about that, but whatever. I think, I don't remember what set that it was that I wanted to make, but this loadout here is definitely something that I'm going to replace. If I have an armor set that I want to make, it's going to go in place of this Gold Rathian loadout, because I never use this. I have no reason to use it. So, I think it will disappear sometime soon. It's one of the... This was my first G-rank set that I made outside of Azure Rathalos. So I made an Azure Rathalos Helios Z mixed set, which just had Helios as the helmet, and then the rest was Azure Rathalos. It was a pretty good loadout, and that was what I made for G-rank. Actually, no, I had already made G-rank Roggy, and then used that to make Azure Rathalos, because I wasn't going to be hunting Azure Rathalos with high-rank stuff, obviously. Some people do that, but I'm not that irresponsible. And then I made this loadout. So this loadout I've had for a long time. In fact, it was using this very loadout that I captured that moment with Goldbeard Cedeus on camera that I'm referring to, or was referring to. I feel like using Sword and Shield. I don't want to be that far in the corner. Do I have an Awakened Water Sword and Shield? Master Odyssey? Of course I do. I forgot about this thing. I don't use this often enough at all. Master Odyssey, here we go. This is another example of a weapon that's got very good stats, provided you're using it in conjunction with Awaken. How it compares to the Cedeus Sword and Shield, I'm not entirely sure, but I would imagine that it compares pretty comfortably. It's not an epic downgrade or anything like that, which is definitely the case with some Awaken weapons, but anyway. I'm going to use Swimmer. Feline Swimmer. Maybe then I can swim through the lava. And catch an Agnoctor or something. Oh, goodness. Feline Groomer. Brilliant. Blight Recovery is good, though. Hold on, says Osama bin Laden. Will do. As you instruct. Ugh. I'll probably do one more hunt, which is to say, this is probably going to be the last one. Conrad's getting antsy. Better get ready soon. Sweet Death is about to slide off his seat in anticipation of departing on the hunt. But in terms of the movement of his character, he does appear rather restrained. But I do know that Sweet Death wants to depart as soon as possible. Osama bin Laden is walking a fine line. You're about to get the Hajime question mark. You're about to get it. I can smell it. The scent is wafting into my nostrils as we speak. He is, however, taking a little longer than he should be. I won't deny that. He is effectively lengthening my live stream, because this is to be my last hunt, so. He may do as he wishes. I don't know what he's setting up for himself. That I really don't know. Yeah, Sweet Death keeps going to the door to find out if he's coming or not. Is he coming now? No. Is he coming now? No. Is he coming now? Oh, he's coming now! Whoa! That's Sweet Death. Well, I wouldn't say that that's a bad loadout, but anyway. It works well enough. And paralysis used in conjunction with the Kelby deer shot is very good. Especially those particular paralysis weapons, which are the most effective in the game. Very helpful. You've sped up the whole process by saying that. You've sped up the whole process, and we are deeply grateful to you. And you, bro. Okay. His response was, and you, bro. Does he mean to sarcastically return my thanks? Does he mean to genuinely return my thanks? Or is he telling me to hurry up and ready up as well? There are 3 different interpretations to his response. And quite frankly, I don't care to know which of the 3 it falls into, categorically speaking. But, yeah, to be honest, I will admit, Osama bin Laden is taking too long. He needs to hurry up. And you, bro, very thanks, says Sweet Death. What the fuck are you doing? You know, I can only make a certain allowance for this sort of behavior. I can only be so forgiving. Didn't you go and eat? I thought you had gone and eaten, but you're standing here still. I have every suspicion that you are the reason why we've been having network issues. It's either you or the server. The fuck is he doing? He was right when he said hold on. We're holding on alright. That's definitely going on. My stream is in limbo because you're choking the chicken or something. Either that or he had a very sudden bowel movement. Did you kick him? No, I don't think he did. Sweet Death was moving at the time, so I don't think he was kicked. I think he's actually having network issues. That's what I would say. I'd say he was definitely the reason why things were going wrong there. Maybe his Wii U froze when he accepted the quest or something. I've got no idea what's going on with the guy, but that's in the past now. We are doing our 3-man hunt, which I would have rather depart on some time ago. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that feeling. Hello, Urugan. Oh, actually, I've got high-grade earplugs. Again, it feels so weird to be using high-grade earplugs with a fucking sword and shield. It just doesn't feel right. It's very satisfying to be using a water sword and shield. I like it. We've got a trap down. Now the question is, can the team commit to it? Conrad is struggling already. Oh, he pulled his fucking head in. Oh god. Alright. I'd like to get to the front arms there. Seems that Conrad is using the Barbarian Blade. A blade which I can respect, but one that I do not personally use because it has max sharpness, which is not very applicable with my armor sets that I use because they happen to have sharpness +1. And generally, taking a weapon that doesn't have max sharpness to a higher level using sharpness +1 is better than using those weapons that already have max sharpness. That's what I find. Generally speaking. So generally speaking as well, I don't like max sharpness weapons. I'm sick of them. Yeah, good shot, sweet death, honestly. Okay. He's already setting up a trap for the next one. Looks like they're just going to leave the killing of this one to me, which is fine. I suppose it's probably more efficient. Conrad is obediently following me. Well, I guess he might want calves. That's also possible. Hadn't considered that. Calling him obedient in that situation was probably a little dismissive. Unfairly dismissive, but anyway. Yeah, get your calves, man. It was a little dangerous of you to loose arrows there.
Ugh. Goodness me.
I want to get hit by a geyser, and the geyser refused to hit me. The geyser was afraid of me. I wish the monsters could be afraid of me too. God, it takes a while when you don't carve and all that. I have to keep away from Conrad. Again, he's using a longsword and I'm using a sword and shield, so I think in terms of who's going to get flinched, we know who's at risk of that. And it's definitely not him. Oh, we've got a broken face, so I'm going to go and attack that now. Except I took a hit stupidly. Oh, I'm going to get hit by the tail. That was really poor positioning on my part. There we go. Head opportune. The head should become the weakest point once broken. Or it may just become about as weak as the arms. I'm actually not too sure how they compare. I think at this, given my loadout, it would be best to choose whichever takes the most elemental damage, but I don't know which of the two take the most elemental damage. Oh god. Is that because I rolled into it? I don't think so. I don't think rolling into it would be enough to detonate it, but that's fine. We'll go with that. Want to look at an Uragan face from the inside? Very good. Are his eyes closed? Yes, they are. Wouldn't ever want to see... Have you ever wanted to see an Urugan eyeball? Well, unfortunately I have less control over the camera, so I can't really show it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you were to position yourself just right, you'd be able to see the eyeball, but... Again, camera control is limited. I'm surprised he missed the trap. Need to position myself properly. Even with something like a sword and shield, hitting those arms is not as easy as you might think. This is a bit of a repeat of the previous confrontation, except the face isn't broken. I would like that to be broken. Face, chin, doesn't matter what you say. Ow. But yes, whether I use the word face or chin, I think my meaning is clear. Somehow Conrad is dead. I don't know how on earth that happened. He responded with LOL, which quite frankly is the only appropriate response to that turn of events. He's going to miss out on... Oh, he may not miss out on his cars. It's only Area 5. He should be able to get here in time. Might do some mining. Oh, I don't think I have. No, I do not have pickaxes, sadly. That is a little unfortunate. Ugh. Oh well. I don't have much to say about that hunt, other than it probably was for the better that Osama took his leave. It was possibly outside of his control that he did leave, but I will maintain that it was he that was causing the issues. What have we got? Ruby? Pallium? No. The true armor spheres are good though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this room and I'm actually going to take some time on camera to upgrade some of my armor pieces. I definitely need to do that. Hunter rank 530 is a good hunter rank to leave off on. Happy to do that. The reason why I'm going to do this on camera is because I don't really want to do it off camera, and if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget to do it. I'm going to unceremoniously depart without fanfare, and I will select an armor set to upgrade. I will prioritize the ones that I use most often. Aha. This is not fully upgraded. These 3 pieces still have 1 upgrade to go, presumably. Unless 9 is not the max. One thing that this is absolutely a complaint that I must express. They don't actually tell you if an armor piece has been upgraded to the maximum level. Every rarity of armor piece will have a different max level. I'm going to assume that 9 isn't the max level for rarity 10, because 9 is a weird level to max out at. 10 would make more sense, right? Well, the max level increases for every rarity of armor piece. I don't think that it would in any way negatively impact the experience to just to write in small letters, max. If it has reached its max upgrade. Look at all that empty space between LV, which they incidentally didn't need to shorten, and the number representing the level. You couldn't fit max in there somewhere? You couldn't just write level? Why do they shorten level like that? They write out defense in full. Why don't they write out level? It's the same length. In fact, I mean, while it is less letters, I do think it'd be about the same length. Probably shorter. But the point is that... Ugh. Makes no fucking sense. Anyway, let's find out. What's going on? Are you shitting me? I was going to say this, actually. The difference in level is not dictated by rarity specifically. Quite shockingly. And this makes my criticism all the more scathing. It is not rarity that dictates level, it is the armor piece in particular that you're upgrading that dictates level. So nether vambraces are considered to be a higher tier armor piece than Gen Moran, which means that it has less upgrades required to reach the maximum level. As your armor piece goes down in tier, the number of times you can level it up increases. That I did know, but God, while I did have a suspicion that rarity didn't dictate that, fucking hell. What that essentially means is that there is a point of argument for having the hunter just memorize what the max level for each rarity is. But at the point where it's not even rarity that dictates max level, there is absolutely no excuse for not having max written next to an armor piece that's upgraded all the way. That is just ridiculous. You don't even have to write anything. Let's imagine that somehow having it say max next to the number is somehow inappropriate. Somehow an unreasonable request. Change the color of the number. Make it blue, make it red, I don't care. Have some indication for the hunter from the equipment screen that their armor is fully upgraded, so they don't have to manually fucking check to see if it's been fully upgraded with the blacksmith. Game design 101. And we're in the 3rd generation of Monster Hunter, and they haven't fucking done that much. It's pathetic. Off the top of my head, I don't remember how they do it in 4th gen, but I'm assuming that they do represent a fully upgraded armor piece from the equipment screen. Or from screens outside of the Forge screen. It's just a fucking shocker. I can't believe it. Alright. Fully upgraded. This is the only way I can do it. Look at these... maximum level for these materials, for these armor pieces. So what that means is that it's not even guaranteed that if the rarity is different, the max level is going to be different. Which just adds to the confusion even more. This is rarity 9, this is rarity 8, same max level. What in the flying fuck were they thinking? You've got two choices. Either you make the armor upgrade system less convoluted, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, or you make it easy for people to work out that your armor piece is fully upgraded. It's very simple. Why is that complicated for Capcom? Fuck me sideways. You wonder why I have no respect for these people. I mean, that's just an inexcusable oversight. It's like they didn't play the fucking game before they released it. It's pathetic. Alright. At this stage, I'm just going to go through all of my armor sets. I'm not even going to go based on the armor sets that I use most often. I'm just going to, one step at a time, go through each of them and fully upgrade the armor pieces of all my armor sets. I will actually leave that to last because I really don't use that often. I have no way of really marking whether or not I have a particular set fully upgraded either. Fortunately, I do have some pieces used in multiple armor sets, so what that allows is for less upgrading overall. It means that the upgrading of an armor piece in one set may also carry over into another armor set, which is a positive thing. Yeah, this is just a fucking waste of time. The fact that I have to do this is so stupid. I can excuse things like this in 1st and 2nd gen, but by 3rd gen, nah. By 3rd gen, it's time to fucking step up your game, Capcom. And that is not what's going on here. It's a bit late to be complaining, isn't it? It's 2022. This game originally came out on the 3DS in 2011, for goodness sake. So, if I'm going to leave it that long, it loses its impact, but still. I'm playing this game now, and I'm telling you it's just not good enough to have it designed like this. You can see, though, that even if I've built up as many as, let's say, 25 Triarmospheres, I don't remember precisely how many I had, but if I accumulate as many as 25, they disappear very quickly. So this is why I have always been lacking in Triarmospheres. There we go. I've used all of my Triarmospheres now. That's going to conclude this particular recording. I do thank you all for watching. You got to hear some insights into my opinion about my favourite Monster Hunter game. It is still my favourite Monster Hunter game. But that's an oversight. And a fairly inexcusable one. That is, in my opinion, basic game design, which they couldn't manage to achieve in this particular game. I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you when I'm next recording Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, or Monster Hunter in general, or any other video game that you might want to see me play. I'll bid you all farewell for now, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.